I'm very happy that we have here guests from other European Union countries, member states, with very hands-on experience concerning just transition. So let me welcome to the panel the colleagues that we have, Nina, Anton, Kostas, and Stefan. Please join us on the panel.
In the meantime, we have Mr. Живков with us, so I
meanwhile,
can invite
we have,
him. Yeah.
Okay, the European Commission online.
Yes, but bear attention that he doesn't hear you very well. So if you want to ask him a question, you need to be closer to the laptop. Otherwise, Mr. Живков, if you can hear us, kindly be ready to share your slides and start presenting.
Okay, I hope the colleagues don't mind if we start with the Commission.
Yes, I can hear you. So should I start now or should I wait a little bit?
You can start now. We can hear you loud and clear, and we can see your slides.
Yeah, and please be brief.
And you can see the slides, all right?
You have about 10 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for being invited to this conference. It's a pleasure, really. I will try to outline briefly how EU policies and cohesion funds can contribute to employment in the regions most affected by the green transition. So, before starting a discussion on employment, we need to agree on the basics. So we have to acknowledge that the digital and the green transitions are a reality and a necessary response to a changing world. So this change brings threats and opportunities. It affects our jobs and virtually all aspects of our lives, and we need to act. So starting with the bigger framework. So in 2019, the Commission launched the European Green Deal, which is the EU's strategy on how to address the challenges posed by climate change. It sets clear objectives and timeline for their achievement, which you can see on the slide. The Green Deal is now being implemented and supplemented through concrete initiatives. I take the opportunity to mention some of the most recent ones. So the Clean Industrial Deal, which was presented in February 2025, is a joint roadmap for competitiveness and decarbonization. It complements the Green Deal, and some of its objectives are to provide EU businesses and consumers with access to affordable energy, to provide financing for the clean transition, to strengthen the circularity of EU's economy, to strengthen EU access to critical raw materials, to focus on skills and quality jobs by establishing a union of skills that invests in workers, develops skills, and creates quality jobs. Another important initiative on the right is the Competitiveness Compass. It will focus on closing the innovation gap that opened with some non-EU countries and on designing a joint roadmap for decarbonization and competitiveness. And one of the enablers for these actions, of course, is the promotion of skills and quality jobs, as you can see on the slide. Moving on, the implementation of a European Green Deal requires a huge amount of investments. We're talking about roughly 520 billion euro per year over a span of a decade. But for the green transition to be a success, it must put people first and make sure that we take care of those who will be most affected. So the Commission has said that the green transition needs to be a just transition. Our message is EU has to boost its competitiveness, yes, but the social dimension will remain in our actions. It is important to point out that private investments will be a major part of the solution. However, today I will focus on EU policy and what EU funds can provide for the regions that will be most impacted by the green transition, such as the region of Kюстендил. Focusing on jobs, we need to talk about policy first. The good news is that the green transition can create more jobs than it is expected to remove from the labor market. The estimates are that the Green Deal can lead to the creation of 1 million additional jobs in the EU by 2030 and 2 million by 2050, and we're talking about net terms here. However, the positive effects of decarbonization are likely to be unequally distributed. So labor reallocation within and between sectors requires reforms and large-scale investments in reskilling and upskilling. We know that job creation and job losses will not happen to the same extent in all sectors and regions and not at the same time. So we need the right policies to support sectors and workers. However, social and labor policies remain an integral part of EU policy and of the Green Deal. We have two main initiatives that focus on this. We are establishing a union of skills, as mentioned already, an initiative presented at the beginning of March, which will focus on adult and lifelong learning, skill retention and recognition of different types of trainings to enable people to work across the union. For the green transition to be a just transition, we need to double down, as one could say, on the core principles of our social Europe model based on the European Pillar of Social Rights, which include job quality and employment security, targeted social policies, comprehensive social services, affordable access to essential services for all, etc. You see there are 20 principles outlined here on the slide. So we are ensuring a fair green transition by providing an EU just transition policy framework. So it includes our action plan to tackle labor and skill shortages, published last spring, which outlines a comprehensive policy framework to provide the skills needed, activate more people, improve working conditions, facilitate the recognition of qualifications, and attract and integrate workers from abroad. The EU has set itself a target of having 60% of adults in participating trainings every year. Unfortunately, for the moment, we're only at around 40%, and Bulgaria is actually doing much worse and less than 10%. And in the energy intensive sector, the participation is only at around 10%. The European Skills Agenda is another initiative. It's an overarching framework of 12 flagship actions to help workers develop more and better skills in the context of fast-changing labor markets, as well as the green and digital transition. Another key initiative is our Pact for Skills. It establishes large-scale partnerships, sectoral partnerships that invest in reskilling and upskilling, and map out future skills needs. In the past year alone, there were 3 partnerships that had been established. Not forgetting about the fairness aspects, they were included in the legislation. So you see here the mention of Fit for 55 package. It's a legislative package, and for example, the Energy Efficiency Directive includes obligations for member states to support the energy poor and vulnerable households to help them save energy. We also have the Council recommendation on ensuring a fair transition towards climate neutrality, which was adopted in October 2022. It is in fact the member states who, with this recommendation, are highlighting the need to put in place comprehensive policy packages to make sure that the green transition is fair. This should include, among others, active support to quality employment for a fair transition, equal access to quality, affordable, and inclusive education, training, and lifelong learning. To shape and implement changes in the workplace linked to the twin transition, we have the Quality Jobs Roadmap, which is to be developed together with social partners, and it will have social dialogue at its heart, and could also refer to a renewed effort to mainstream social dialogue in relevant legislation. So let me focus a bit on Bulgaria now. Currently, the Bulgarian labor market is doing quite well. Employment rates have recovered and surpassed the pre-pandemic levels. Unemployment rates have been record low. So in this respect, Bulgaria is doing better than the EU average. Wage growth has also been quite strong. It's now outpacing inflation, which means that most workers should see an increase in real wages. Moving on to the challenges on the right-hand side of the slide, we still hear complaints from employers about labor skill shortages. And the demographic situation in Bulgaria is quite concerning. Bulgaria lost close to 20% of working age population between 2011 and 2021 due to aging and migration. And in the last 3 years, migration has turned around. There is now positive migration, but nevertheless, the labor force is still shrinking. And when we look at the skills challenges, the situation is quite concerning. We only 36% of people in Bulgaria have basic digital skills compared to an EU average of 56%, and only 35% of people in Bulgaria believe they have the necessary skills to contribute to the green transition, which is certainly quite below the EU average. Now, if we focus on the region of Kюстендил, unfortunately, we see a less positive picture than for the rest of the country. employment levels are lower than the country's averages. However, the overall trend of employment in the last 8 years is mostly positive. It's not a consistent growth, but it's a positive direction of growing employment. There are still indications that the region is struggling to attract investments, and this might be the reason why it's struggling with job creation. I'm not going to dwell on the unemployment figures because they're the ones that I found were with low reliability. However, I would like to mention that the population of the region is declining as most of the country, and the number of workers has gone down by close to 10% over the course of 8 years. And thanks to the survey that was done in the Kюстендил region, we can appreciate better the situation in the region and in relation to the green transition. And we see some concerning results, which I think already some speakers mentioned. On the positive side, we can know that a growing share of people recognize that climate change is a real threat. However, we can also know that people's concern about loss of jobs and the population of the region are growing. There seems to be a deficit of information about the possibilities that the Green Deal can offer, especially for job creation. And even though we see that there is increased awareness about specific EU-funded projects in the region, it is clear that further efforts are required to inform the public about the support that the EU is providing and can provide. Now, turning to the funds, starting with the cohesion fund. So we have the European Regional Development Fund, the European Social Fund Plus, and the cohesion fund, who are supporting a more competitive, smarter, and greener Europe, which is more social and inclusive. More broadly, the European Social Fund Plus, with nearly 100 billion euros set for a period of 7 years, provides support for up and reskilling, support to employment and childcare activities. We know that Bulgaria has already started some key operations in the core regions, like the mapping of the skills of the directly affected by the green transition. Unfortunately, I couldn't listen to it. I think it took place in the morning today. But let's focus a bit on two specific funds that are really centered on mitigating the negative impacts of the transition: the Just Transition Fund and the Social Climate Fund. So the Just Transition Fund was launched in January 2020. It provides support to regions and people most affected by the clean energy transition in their efforts notably to diversify their economies, create alternative job opportunities, and to reskill affected workers. So in total, 96 regions involving all member states are receiving support. So we can see that Bulgaria is not alone in this challenge. The fund has a total budget for 7 years of 26.6 billion euros. Of those, 19.6 are an EU contribution. Now member states are beginning to implement the plans. Bulgaria, for example, has dedicated 114 million euros, and this is without the national co-financing, for measures to improve access to the labor market, support for self-employment, business startups, and the adaptation of workers to change in general. The totally new social climate fund, which also has a considerable budget of 65 billion, and it with national co-funding, it can actually reach much more. The minimum expected is 86.7 billion. This fund foresees that the new emission trading system revenues will be linked to, which are now linked to building and transport, will be recycled back to provide support for vulnerable households, vulnerable transport users, vulnerable micro enterprises. And we expect this fund to become operational in 2026. Of course, I should mention also the Recovery and Resilience Facility, even if it's not part of the cohesion funds, which has a major support for the green transition, with 723 billion euros available, of which 37% must be targeted to climate objectives and environmental sustainability, which includes also training activities. Besides the legislative policy and funding action, we are also working to set up a European Fair Transition Observatory that is expected to be launched at some point in the first half of 2025, so quite soon. The purpose is to create a knowledge hub and promote an exchange of best practices It will also help support policy monitoring, cover a broad range of fairness aspects in the context of the green transition, and it will also set up an advisory group that will involve the social partners. So to sum up, the EU can support the regions in their transition from coal in many ways, putting in place the right policies and tools, in providing funding for diversifying local economies, including funding for upskilling, reskilling, as well as for launching new businesses, providing funding to address social impacts from the green transition by supporting the most vulnerable, providing opportunities to exchange ideas, the observatory that I just mentioned, and exchange successful solutions. And actually, this is what this seminar, I think, is also contributing to. I think it's the right place to note that the survey of Kюстендил shows that compared to other co-regions, a greater majority of those who were interviewed do not see the need to improve their skills or acquire new skills. Only 15% of respondents, I think, were interested in training opportunities, which is quite concerning, as the territorial just transition plan for the region has identified considerable needs for upskilling or reskilling. One possible explanation could be that the region of Kюстендил has faced some struggles to make best use of available opportunities because it is part of the Yugoslavian region, which is a region in transition and gets less funding. When in fact the statistic shows that Kюстендил belongs with the less developed regions. So it couldn't make best use of existing opportunities, for example, the ESF Plus program for human resources development. But Just Transition Fund could provide more focused support and kind of step in. And there is also, I see indications that there is a reform of the regionalization, the NUTS 2 regions in Bulgaria, where the region of Kюстендил will no longer be part of the same region as Sofia, which could in the future provide more funding opportunities and more opportunities for targeted actions for the region of Kюстендил. And with this thought, I would like to stop and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vasio. You really covered, I think, all the important EU policies in the area and the large amount of funding that European Solidarity provides. If I can provoke you with a short question, we were discussing earlier that of course, the target of the support are the most vulnerable, but sometimes in the local context, the closest to the employees are their employers. Do you think there are enough initiatives that use the employers, especially the large ones, as a vehicle to improve the situation and the qualification of the workers? Or the policies mostly supporting directly workers in a more general way? I mean, how do you really integrate the local context in all this EU policy?
Yes, it's a great question actually, and it boils down to something that was mentioned but not really highlighted much in the presentation: the partnership with the social partners, which includes also employers and trade unions, of course. So no, the idea is not to limit and to run all the trainings, for example, through the public employment service. The idea is also to create opportunities for employers to train employees. And I think because I'm working in particular on the European Social Fund Plus and the Human Resources Development Program, there is operations which are actually targeting employers and people who are already in employment. And it's the employers who can make use of the funding to train their employees. And I think also the Just Transition Fund also provided some very useful support for the employers. So I think yes, I would like to highlight that indeed the social partners play a key role. We are aware of this, and we want them to be involved as much as possible. I think the situation for Bulgaria in relation to adult participation in learning is very bad, unfortunately. And we see that also people who are employed rarely participate in training. So I think there is a need to step up the dialogue with the employers to see what is the reason behind that and how this can be improved, and of course provide opportunities for individual workers if their employer is not interested in providing training, to have access to training, but also of course give opportunities to employers to do that as well. So opportunities are there, and of course I think the Bulgarian administration is open, and the managing authority for the program is open to discussions and to see how this can be extended even further.
Thank you once again, Vasil. I think that luckily in Kюстендил we found employers who are very willing to invest in their employees, so that will no longer be the case, and we are waiting for you to see you live soon in the region, if you can. And now I would like to go to, you're welcome to stay with us, of course, online to listen. But here we have Stefan Vedrina, and I would like to give him the word to really inspire the younger people and the generations to come with what can happen when EU funds, like the ones Vasil talked about, are well invested. Stefan, please.
Thank you. I have a presentation. Yeah. Hello. It will be pretty colorful now, less numbers, more pictures. So hello everyone, my name is Stefan, and I'm the CTO and co-founder of a small company called Hiroma, which I co-founded with my wife. But before I tell you a bit about myself, I want to first show you where we started from. So I'm coming from a small city called Novska in Croatia, and we have a population of 11,000 people. It is a small city, but we actually have the fastest growing incubator in Croatia, and we're specialized in game development industry. The abbreviation, it's called PISMO. I think it works in Bulgarian also. It's like pred, prije, mačeski, not completely sure, inkubator na Sisak, Moslavina okrug, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we're situated in Novska, very, very small city. So the whole project is confined in 7 steps. So first we implemented English in preschools. Then we started doing workshops in elementary and high schools. And after that, we implemented 6 months educations for unemployed and 3 months educations through vouchers and Croatian Employment Agency. Oh, and by the way, if you enrolled into our education while unemployed, for the duration of education, for that 6 months, you got minimum Croatian salary and travel expenses every month. Also, we offer startup assistance to all of our attendees of our education, and we help them get funding from the state, from the county, and from the city. We also created 4-year high school program specialized in video game development also, which has been going on for around 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And we are doing 2 to 3 times summer camps per year for primary school children to hype them up for our high school program. So we got it covered from the kindergarten all the way to the end of high school. And the last and the biggest step that is still left to be done is a center of gaming industry, but I'm going to talk about that a bit later. So here are a few pictures of summer camp children enjoying our equipment and our facilities. So as of today, we had over 550 attendees of our educations. And we also opened a lot of we actually created a lot of new jobs, because a lot of people who finish our education also open up their startup. It may be company, it may be sole proprietorship, they may be become employees of a bigger company. So yeah, and also population grew rapidly. I'm for example, I'm a good example for that because I came to Novska from a bit bigger city. I finished an education there around 6 years ago, and I stayed in Novska. I actually met my now wife there, with which I co-founded my company. We got a kid, we bought a house, so it's not only business incubator, it's baby incubator also. And of course, real estate has been also developing rapidly. For example, my wife, who's been living in Novska for 30 years, she told me that in the last 20 years, there hasn't been any like apartment complex built, and in the last 3 to 4 years, we had over 10 of them. So it's really booming. It was realized through EU funds. We got 3 million euros in 2018. And we refurbished 2 buildings. First one consists of 20 closed space offices, and the other one is actually old refurbished hangar with high-tech equipment. For example, we got motion capture, we got big co-working space, we got VR simulators, sound recording studio, video editing studio, everything you need, literally everything. Up to this point, we got over 76 startups with 97 employees, and our strategic partner is A1 Croatia, but you have A1 here, so you know who they are. These are a few pictures from the refurbished hangar I was mentioning. We got a lot of VR simulators and stuff like that. And now back to the 7th step, I said, the center of gaming industry. Well, we signed the contract with EU, with government, and I don't know who else. And we are actually co-financed by the Just Transition Fund, and the whole project is now worth over 37 million euros. And I think that's not all. I think it will come in multiple phases. And we are building accelerator, new incubator, arena, college, dorms, and all the other facilities inside the whole, we like to call it, it will be like a campus, like US campus, something like that. It sounds like political promises, but the deal is actually signed and the construction already started 1 month ago, so I couldn't believe it either. So these are a few renders. Oh, by the way, renders are made by my wife and our colleague. So we'll have tennis courts, basketball courts, golf terrains, dog park also. And bottom right is that arena, which will take 2,500 people. It will be for testing games, playing games, esports tournaments, also concerts, because each and every facility there will be accessible for public. So it's not closed only for the students and employers and, I don't know, companies there and professors, but it will be fully open for public, and in that way the whole city is actually evolving and not just closed campus. Yeah, it will be pretty green. We'll have electric vehicle charging stations and whatnot, solar panels. Yeah, we'll have to employ 97 new center employees. That includes technicians, maintenance staff, cleaning staff, professors, educators, and whatnot. We'll have 50 students per year. And we don't want to reinvent the wheel and do something with the college ourselves, but we are letting it to University of Zagreb, and we are letting their professional educators and professors to do their stuff. We are just giving them space and equipment. So I'd like to just say a few things about myself so you know who is speaking to you. My name is Stefan, once again. I'm from company Hiroma, which I co-founded with my now wife. We are doing business for 5.5 years already. I'll just list through some of our projects. This is an expo for science fair in Novska. And it's like a big TV with 3D model Einstein, and it does real-time facial animation. Like you stand in front of the TV, and whatever you do, the Einstein does the same. And here's a picture of my wife recreating the famous Einstein with his tongue photo. After that, we did a virtual reality quality control simulator for some company in Phoenix, in Arizona. We did the virtual walking guide for our county's tourist board. This one's interesting. Oh, it's a bit dark. Never mind. We did Nikola Tesla's virtual reality office. So you put VR glasses on your head, and you actually can experiment with Nikola Tesla's innovation. For example, we have induction motor, and the faster you spin, the bulb gets lighter. We got Tesla's coil, and you can grab a neon lamp, and the closer you get it to the coil while it's turned on, it produces more, it gets brighter also. Of course, in the middle, we got his first radio-controlled device, which was his little boat. So it's an educational in its core. We also do animated videos. For example, Pismo helped us a lot here because they gave us Motion Capture Studio to use. So this is one of the examples. We are currently creating with our colleagues a 3D animated video, 20-minute video of life on military border, Vojna granica on Bulgarian. It's for local museum in Novska, which is also currently being refurbished by the EU funds. So, and yeah, this is our, it stands out a bit. It's an educational game for preschoolers, and we were actually one of the first video game projects in Croatia that was financed by the government, so directly by the state. It was in 2022. So just in short few words, it's like a little game where we put your child in a position of teacher, and your child teaches their moopies, so they're like alien-like creatures who feed on knowledge and then evolve, something like Pokemon. So we got 15 of them, and we got great support from local community because some of the, mostly moms of little kids, came to us and told us, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have one of your characters in physical form? We said it's an excellent and expensive idea, but okay. So after our third try, we got a sample, and our mayor in the bottom right actually very much liked that idea, and she ordered 700 of them to give them to all the preschoolers and first graders in the area. So we got really, really good support. We didn't earn anything, we even lost a bit on the shipping, but never mind. The kids are happy, that's the most important part. Of course, we didn't stop there. We're also doing animated picture book, which is compatible with our app, but more about that. If you want to learn more, contact me. So yeah, thank you once again, and thanks from my wife to you also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stefan. Can you say what Hiroma means and why did you choose this name?
Hiro is our dog, and Ma is first two letters of my wife's name. So I only work there. No.
Nice. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, it sounds like a famous Japanese, I don't know, Garden of Peace or something made in a movie. Or excellent. Unless some of the others have a question or from the audience, I'll pass the floor to our representatives from Ostrava, where they have an excellent project, which I'm very willing to hear about. So Anton and Nina, you decide how you, in between yourselves, distribute the time and the slides. But I know what you're doing is very inspiring for the people, their qualifications. It's really the heart of our Top Jobs project. So we are very happy to have you here and being present, not online, to share this information.
So thank you. Hello. Good afternoon. I would like you to present you the system of career guidance at the elementary school in our city. First of all, we are representative of the organization that has a name Employment Pact. We are a non-profit organization that is supported by the regional office, the regional governor, and the city of Ostrava. And we are mostly focused in the three pillars, so the labor market analysis forecast, the career guidance from the primary school to the adults, and the third pillar is cooperation between companies and schools in all possible ways. These is some topics that we are concerned about. However, the main topic of all of those three pillars are people, and there is a mistake, I'm sorry for that. However, as our region is also coal region, we have a challenge that we are facing, as is written, the out-migration, the social demographic changes, and the brain drain of the young person. That's why back in 2019 we started with career guidance system in our city. This system, as is mentioned, is working for at least 6 years. Right now we have 42 schools involved out of 60 in the city. Just for information, the city of Ostrava is the third largest city, has 285,000 inhabitants. And right now all the knowledge behind is accredited by the University of Ostrava, and back in 2021 we won the National Career Advice for the whole system. Before I will explain you how the system works, just a few information who is involved in the system. Of course, it's the city of Ostrava as the one who is giving the money to the schools, and as well we as a guarantor, the teachers, the career counselors at the school, the other teachers, and of course the principals and the local employers. There was an idea in 2019, like the kids at the primary school has actually a problem to choose the right high school, and there was normally someone in the school, like their class teacher, who knows something about them and can guide them, like which is the right way, which is the right high school for me. But it was not working in every school, and it was an unsystematic approach. So back in 2019, we analyzed the situation and we decided, yes, in the Western Europe, the career counselor exists, so let's bring them to the elementary school. So we asked 20 elementary schools, and they started with us. The principals choose the teachers, and we provide them a 6-day intensive training about the topic of the career guidance, meeting all the methodology and stuff. And we are working with them until now. So actually we analyzed the needs, and we are analyzing the needs for 6 years. We are the one who providing the education to the teacher and the methodological support for the whole period. We also work with employers, and we are providing at least one excursion for each school yearly to the employer, so more than 40 excursions per year to companies. And we do evaluate the process. So if the new school is approaching, the teacher get all the education that he needs to work with the kids. Then we are meeting with the teachers 4 times a year when the teachers can change the experience. We are providing the new exercises for them, the new material that can use in the education. We also providing this shadowing in the schools. If there is a new teacher, we can show them right in the school how to work with the kid. And as is mentioned, we are having an excursions to the company with the reservation system, so they can check online whenever there is a free term to go for a company. We also have a pupil self-assessment tool, so the career guidance on the beginning and the end of the school years can check whether the skills of the kids are developing or not. And we also have this one, we call it Inspiromat. It's let's say, a book of sample activities on the left, where the teacher has all the activities ready to use in the school with all the instructions, like which grade, how long is it, which support material they have, and etc. so they can go straight ahead to the classes and use it for various subjects. Some of them can be used in mathematics, some of them are working with the financial literacy, some of them can use in the Czech language lessons, and etc. Together with these workings at the hours, we also have 2 online apps. Unfortunately, they are only in the Czech language, not in the English either, but we will hope it will spread out. We have one application on the left, My Life After School, which is for primary school. The kids will first choose the profession. For example, some year the doctor is the top one, some year IT specialist, another is policeman, so they will choose a profession, for example, policeman. On the second step, they will choose what lifestyle they would like to have, to live in the flat, house, etc. And at the end, it shows them the financial situation, if the profession they choose is suitable for the lifestyle they choose it. It's also we are updating the data twice a year about the salaries, and at the end we are comparing the price, the average salary in Prague and the average cost in the Prague. So we will demonstrate to the kids that they shouldn't leave to Prague because they will earn more, but the life is more expensive in the capital. And we have more than 6 regions involved in the app, so the kids can choose and they will have the local data in the app. The game on the right is for the, let's say, high schoolers, and it simulates the process of finding a job. So they will they are playing for the fictive character. They are composing the CV. Then they are looking for in the fake job portals for jobs. They have been interviewing, and it simulates all the process. If they fail for 3 times, they will left for the labor office to seek for help. So those are 2 applications. Some of the numbers, only briefly, we have, as I mentioned, 42 schools, more than 4,000 pupils were involved in the individual activities, more than 8,000 in the group activities, and some information about the companies. We have more than 100 arranged excursions, as I mentioned, 40 a year, more than 1,500 participants. The system is open to the new school, so we are very happy to join with the new school. And the last thing, the city of Ostrava is financially supporting those schools who are joined the program, so we can motivate the teachers to do something, let's say, extra, and to help kids to choose the right high school. And that's it from my side. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Nina Chvastkova. I'm a colleague of Tony. I'm from the same organization, and I am a coordinator of a project Trautom, Competencies for 21st Century, which is founded by Just Transition Fund. Okay, it's quite a new project, and I'm really happy that I can share with you activities of this project. At first, I want to say that we have 3 coal regions too in our republic. You can see them on the map. Our Moravian Silesian region is the red one in the east of the Czech Republic. And now you can see how which areas are supported by Just Transition Fund in our region. There are 7 main areas, and for our project it's important area people and skills. There are 4 forms of aid, how the money can be spread to the region. The first one is strategic project, and this is the Trautom. In our region, nowadays, there are 12 strategic projects, and our is one of them. And then, important for you is thematic call. It's call for companies in our region, and they can apply for money for their educational projects. And our project Trautom is connected with this thematic call because we are something like counselors for company. We are trying to guide them in the process how to apply the money. Okay, as I said, it's quite a new project. We started in April last year, and we will finish in December 2027. We have two partners. One of them is Technical University of Ostrava, and the second one is Association from Promoting Competitiveness in Automotive. Okay, which are the main targets? We want to create an ecosystem which will support education in companies, support for not only for employers but for employees and for people by upskilling and reskilling. And we want to support career counseling. As you can heard from my colleague, I think that we are really good at career counseling in schools. But this service for adult people is still young in our country, in our region, and the big deal, I can say, for our project is to promote this service and to explain people how important this service is and how can help them in the fast-changing labor market. We are a coal region, but our coal mines are closed now, and our project is more focused on the most important industries in our region, which are energetic, steel industry, and automotive. We are cooperating with companies from other industrial sectors, but these three are most important, and from these sectors are most important employers. Okay, here is a schema of our Trautum and of our activities which are connecting one to each other. So we start to building partnership, and I have to say that I think that this is really important, that the project goes from regional authority, which really helps us. We are connecting with companies, we are connecting with high schools and universities, we are connecting, for example, with clusters or regional chamber of commerce, yeah, and another important association or state institution like labor office, yeah, and this partnership is very important for us to make the project successful. And we are trying to connect with other coal regions and to speak with them which challenges and problems do they have and how they want to resolve them. So this is important for us. Then we have a team of analysts because our organization, we are doing analysis, and in this project we analyze situation in key sectors, and we are analyzing trends of education. I will speak about it a little bit later. We are trying to analyze competencies, and then we are developing or supporting career counseling for adult. We created a center for adult people in autumn last year. We prepared methodology, and nowadays we are offering counseling. We are doing workshops, and we are developing app for adults, as we have two app applications for young people. So now we are developing the third one. So what we are doing in our analytic activity is that we are analyzing the key sectors, and we are analyzing new challenges which are related with the key sectors and which are the mid and long-term skills, demand and supply. Okay, we are mapping competencies. How we are doing it? We are using, it's a list of competencies which was made by Ministry of Social Affairs. We have working groups where are representatives of companies of our region, and we are really trying to define how the professions are changing, which professions are new, and how the competencies on these professions are changing. Yeah? So it's quite a long process, and the result of this process will be some profession card, which will define these competencies and requirements on this job position. We hope that these profession cards will use, for example, employment office, high schools, because it's true that, for example, high schools are not able to change their curricula so quickly as the labor market is changing. So we hope that this profession cards should help them, for example. And I think that it can be a good tool for HR managers in companies and for people or citizens too. We are developing another online tool, we can say, in Czech is Dovednosti MSK, so it means skills in our region. And it will be a result of our analytic activities, so which competencies are needed on the one side and which trainings are offering to receive these competencies. Yeah, so this tool will be a digital platform which will connect competencies with relevant training, yeah? And it will be the online tool for companies, for people. How we support upskilling and reskilling at our region. As I said, we have a thematic call. Here are the conditions. Maybe it's not so important nowadays, but I want to only say that to use one good example, it's a Czech energetic company which use, for example, money from this thematic call because they had to close a thermal power plant. This thermal power plant were closed last month, so in April this year. But the company started to help to these people, we can say 2 years before, and this is important that they were really good prepared for it. They communicate well with their employees, they communicate which changes come and how can they help them, and they used money for reskilling of their employees. Many of them were reskilled to electricians, which are really needed in our region. It was quite a long education because it's a vocational education which takes, for example, 1 year. Yeah, so and we help them to receive the money for the education, and we offer to this company external career counseling. And I think that it was really important. And the company offered, for example, psychological counseling for the employees, because one thing is when you are talking, okay, after 1 year we will close the plant, but when it's happening, the situation, it's really difficult for the employees. So we are the guide for our companies in our region, and we are trying to explain them how can they use money for the educational projects. And we participate in outplacement processes in some big companies, or not only big companies, in companies which need our help and our services, especially career guidance. And then, for example, we are trying to help to these people which are in the outplacement process to connect them with other companies which are not firing but hiring people. Yes, so, and I will finish. So the last activity is the career counseling. Our goal, we can say, is to offer this service for 1,000 people till the end of the project. But the whole project is a pilot project, so we are setting up the activities. But we hope that the career center will be continued after the project, and we will be the important career center in our region. Yeah. So I think that I said everything. Yeah, because it's funding by JTF, so it's free for people, career counseling, and as consultation, so as a workshop. Okay, so I think that it's everything, and maybe it will be fine to see you after, for example, 3 or 4 years and speak about the results of the project and the changes in each coal region. And if you are interested in some of these subjects, we are open to talk with you more, or we can speak later, for example, in some online meeting. So thank you for your attention in this afternoon time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. These were Nina and Anton. Maybe short question. I'm really amazed by this synergy, the way all the pieces of the puzzle work together. Can you share with us in practice, how does this happen? Do you go to the companies? Do you go to the people? Do the people go to the employers? Or how is it so homogeneous that you talk about this process? Because in Bulgaria, we especially, even in the regions, we have state institutions, the concentrated local authorities, and the scenery is just very fragmented. How do you make this, how do you put these pieces together, and which is the glue? Is it your team, or?
So thank you for the question. To the first part, let's say it was a political decision. There was and there is still a wise deputy mayor that she decided, like, yes, we need to work on the elementary school, we need to bring career counselors. So in 2019, she gave us the money and the homework. So please make it work, because she was in Finland or somewhere, and she see that this is working thing. And after the 6 years, we can say, like, it works, and the kids are choosing the future profession and the high school in the better way.
Yeah, I think because our organization has a net of companies at school. So, for example, the Trautom is now connecting with companies which we are connected before. Yeah, and I think that we have a good team, and our region is divided into 6 districts. Yeah, so we are not only in Ostrava, in the capital of the region, but we have our team which are focusing on each district, and they are trying to spread the services, for example, at schools. Or we are really connecting to companies. We are visiting them, yeah. And the best practice is the personal contact. How to explain how they can be supported by our project. Yeah.
Great. I think this service integration is the best possible idea for a local project here in Kюстендил. So thank you for that. And now we've been talking about education and science and training and qualification, but we actually have a university representative here. So Kostas, thank you for being here on behalf of the academic institutions, the universities. You are in Western Macedonia, in Greece, and we are very happy to have you here on board in Bulgaria. I know you work with Stara Zagora as well, because there they have university partners for your institution. But please share with us what's the role of the universities in these dynamic times.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your thoughtful invitation. I'm Kostas Nikou, the Executive Director of the University of the Western Macedonia. I've written some thoughts and some projects we run and some challenges we face. So, representing a higher education... Oops. Okay, I'll use this one. Oh, okay. Representing a higher education institution of the heart of Greece's most significant coal transition region, I bring perspectives shaped by both practical and experience and academic insight. The University of Western Macedonia has been both a witness and a participant in the transformation our region is undergoing. From research to reskilling and from community support to infrastructure planning, we are at the front lines of the just transition process in Greece. The transition to climate neutrality represents both a significant challenge and an enormous opportunity for regions historically dependent on carbon-intensive industries. Greece, like Bulgaria and other European countries, with a strong legacy of coal and lignite production, faces the complex task of balancing urgent climate action with socio-economic stability. At the University of Western Macedonia, we're not just witnesses to Greece's most ambitious regional transition, we are documenting its real human impact. Western Macedonia represents Greece's most coal-dependent region, and the harsh reality captured in research by institutions like the World Bank reveals the magnitude of our challenge. Our region was already the poorest in Greece, with unemployment at 27%, the highest in the country, even before the lignite phase-out was announced. Less than 1 in 3 residents of our region is employed, and we face rapid aging and significant out-migration, particularly among younger workers aged 25 to 35 years old. This context makes our transition even more challenging. According to World Bank analysis, up to 16,000 jobs could be directly and indirectly affected by the mine closures. This includes around 5,000 direct jobs at the Public Power Corporation, PPC. I think you have one similar here. And over 11,000 indirect positions with contractors and subcontractors. The lignite mining and energy production sectors have functioned all these years as a safety net for many in our region, representing about 30% of employment in specific municipalities like Florina, Kozani, etc. Our university's research aligns with these findings. We've witnessed firsthand how the affected workforce consists predominantly of older, less educated, but highly skilled workers with expertise gained through practical experience. Many PPC employees are older male technicians with primary or secondary education, and 2/3 of the broader mining workforce is aged around 45 to 55 years old. These specialized technical skills are not easily transferable to other jobs and other market sectors, and yet the region is expected to pivot into a new economy in less than a decade. I think this all sounds familiar to you as well. So, about cohesion funding from theory to practice, Greece's National Just Transition Plan allocates 1.6 billion from the JTF for the period 21 to 27. Additional resources from ERDF, ESF Plus, and RRF have been also mobilized, and yet funding alone is not enough. At our university, we see every day how cohesion policy can either be a catalyst or a bureaucratic maze. Here is what we've learned. Speed matters. Every delay in implementation leads to irreversible losses. Businesses close, people leave, and communities weaken. Skills mismatch is real. Many coal workers are older, technically skilled, but have limited formal education. Upskilling must be tailored, not generic. Online upskilling attempts have shown poor results so far. Higher education institutions must be central actors, not bystanders. We are running targeted reskilling programs, supporting startups through incubation, creating research hubs in clean energy and circular economy, contributing to land rehabilitation with our environmental engineering teams. Number 4, investment traction is still a struggle. Despite the funds, transition regions are often seen as high-risk areas with outdated infrastructure and low innovation absorption capacity. What actually works? Participatory governance as number 1. Local actors must co-design strategies, not just approve top-down projects. Number 2, place-based planning. One size does not fit all. Generic solutions don't work. Strategies must leverage local strengths and address specific weaknesses. Number 3, realistic expectations. There will be job losses that are not fully recoverable. Not everyone can or will be reemployed quickly. Number 4, de-risking mechanisms. Initial public investments is expected to attract private capital, and there's a multiplier effect of approximately 2.7 euros per each euro of public funding. And number 5, universities are as social anchors. In Western Macedonia, our university is one of the few stable, future-oriented institutions still standing. In this context, the University of Western Macedonia tries to implement what it stands for. Last month, a grant of 11 million euros has been approved by the Greek Just Transition Program to the University of Western Macedonia for the construction and establishment of a hub for innovation activities and connection between research, development, and business sectors. The University of Western Macedonia also participates in the first Just Transition Center of Vocational Education, at the first Just Transition Living Lab, and all aspects of quadruple healings, trying to make sure that no one is left behind. You can see some projects we run. There are a lot of new investments running at the time being, but I don't want to focus on these projects. I want more to focus on what we've learned so far and the lessons learned. So let's see some hard truths we must acknowledge. Many of our highly skilled engineers have left the region. Technicians with coal-specific knowledge find it nearly impossible to shift career locally and from one day to another. Long-term unemployed youth are being pushed toward economic inactivity or even migration. Universities themselves face declining enrollment, shifting roles, and increasingly restrictive funding frameworks. Finally, administrative bottlenecks and fragmented coordination, what you've mentioned before, between ministries and local authorities are delaying implementation of even the most promising initiatives. And some closing thoughts. Just transition is not just about reprogramming budgets. It's about transforming societies in crisis. For a region like ours, the transition is not only a climate imperative, but a survival challenge. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us. Cohesion funds can indeed seed the jobs of the future, but only if the soil is ready. That means investing in trust, speed, skills, infrastructure, and genuine participation. We at the University of Western Macedonia remain committed to walking this path alongside our community, and we're eager to collaborate with other regions and institutions across Europe. Thank you very much.
So much amazing, I think, inspiration. You really set the scene very well for what universities also in Bulgaria should be doing, really become a stable anchor and the connection with the knowledge and the innovation and, of course, be part of Just Transition actively. I want to challenge you with the question, why do you think or how Greece was the first to submit the territorial Just Transition plans? How Greece was so courageous, including Kozani region. What was the top then? How did you feel the atmosphere? I think Greece was the first, Bulgaria was the last. So how was that gap, you know, how did you manage as a country or as a region to be pioneers for the Just Transition planning? And you also have national plan, which was mentioned in the morning. Bulgaria, we don't have national Just Transition, just the 3 territorial plans.
As Anton and Nina mentioned before, it was a top-down glue to their perspective, so it was a top-down decision in our case. To be honest, we're not all at the same page with the government's decision about making the next step. And people were actually angry and about this shift. And it requires a very good management of expectations. And because honesty is the best policy, sometimes politicians do not follow this rule. So they say, let's go, let's move on and see what happens. So you have to be right next to the citizen and be honest and show them that the path is not, let's say, fruitful, is not an easy path, because you have to deal with 40 or 50 years old customs, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks, as we all know.
Any concluding thoughts? I'll ask all the panelists. I think we saw a very interesting mixture in the last Yes, so time for closing remarks from the public and panelists before I give back the floor to Asenia to close our event. But again, I think we have excellent examples of creativity, of this glue and this mobilization, and of course, the academic, the role of the universities as the center of the just transition, where such capacities can be built, EU and global excellence. So any maybe words from Nikki or the others, if you would like to comment, or any of the panelists, something if you would like to share. I hope you like Kюстендил. I hope Kюстендил manages to use some of these ideas for good cause. And we all see each other again sometime soon for an entrepreneurship seminar, and of course maybe for other EU-funded projects and initiatives. Thanks once again to the sponsors, to the corporates, Electrohold, who is still with us. Thank you so much for the support and what you're doing in the energy sector to modernize. To TETS Bobovdo, also who are really working towards a new energy mix, leaving coal gradually and supporting the employees in the effort to requalify. So Asenia, maybe back to you. Thanks for your leadership and amazing project management.
Oh, thank you very much, Angie. It's a pleasure. I have not much to add, actually. I just wanted to thank you all. It's a pleasure for me to complete our, in a way, project stage consisting in these regional conferences here in Kюстендил with these participants, with these speakers. I think it has been very inspiring. So it was a pleasure. Thank you all for coming here. You've traveled long distances, and your efforts and your experiences are much appreciated. Thank you a lot to the European Commission for the partnership, of course, and for the support, to Electrohold, not only for supporting us, but also for paying attention to the entire event and for staying with us, which really testifies to some strong engagement, as well to the power plant of Bobovdo, and to all of you, to the municipality of Kюстендил, who hosted us, of course, to our team at Economic BG, to all the technical people who supported us today, but above all, to everyone from our audience, especially those who managed to stay for the entire day. I hope it was worth it and you found this useful. And I really want to invite you once again to meet here next month on 10 June when we speak about entrepreneurship. We will talk about the funding available, but also we will share some nice ideas about green and not only green entrepreneurship together with Angie. And for those of you who want to stay informed, just follow the website of Economic BG to stay in touch. I hope we see each other again. Thank you once again.